you find yourself in a position where you absolutely crush the enemy mid lane. Now what? What do we do? First of all, we're gonna take the enemy mid tower. If we win the mid lane already, then we wanna look to take his tower, and then we're gonna keep shoving the mid wave into his tier 2, so he has trouble to farm there. Secondly, we are going to take the most aggressive farm that we are allowed to take on the map. The worst thing that you can do when you win this mid lane is to run back and take some camps deep there behind back on the map, or even go... Your ancients are actually not too bad if you take them and if you stack them, especially not as a TA. But if you would go for this camp, for example, or even further back on this side, which is absolutely hideous, then you're doing something wrong. I think you need to take the most aggressive farm that you can find on the map, and this is exactly what we're gonna witness. So he's taking this. Look, they're even stacking the enemy agents that were meant to be farmed by Tinker. And yeah, they're just gonna clear it. They find a couple kills. Of course, the supports will try to contest it, but since you won the mid lane, your advantage is pretty cool, and there's a nice opportunity to get some kills. After the kills are done, we're gonna take the stacks, easy peasy. Next movement, we're gonna fix mid lane. We're gonna secure the runes. This is what we always want to do. Whenever you win the lane, try to catch every single power rune as well. Gonna fix the net mid wave. And then let's see where he goes. You see him strafing towards the top left already. He's taking the next camp. Look how aggressive this camp is. With this camp and maybe a trap here, he has access to this, and to that. There's also a great observer board here placed by his team, so there's really a lot of area we can play with. Now we see the Sven. And instead of just taking this camp, he decides to contest the Sven. Imagine you're a Sven and you're just chilling and you're really high on net worth as well. And suddenly a TA comes to contest your farm. There's like not much you can do. You just have to give it up. Mid lane is pushing again, so he's taking the mid wave. Supporter stacks the camp. Perfect. He's telling the supporter now to take the mid wave since he's taking the ancients. This is how you can actually farm as a support. You stack and then you tell your teammates to take the ancients. And meanwhile, you take the lane and get some farm as well. Perfect. Nice. Look at this. 11 minutes and we're on top of CS with 105 CS. And then immediately he moves aggressive again into the enemy territory. He's getting and going and playing and taking kills. And then TPing back, fixing this mid lane immediately, securing the next power rune, pushing up here, threatening this second tier 2 tower. Just getting into fights. Once you win your lane, you want to play as aggressive as you possibly can while not neglecting your farm. So you don't really want to chase kills. Look, he's just there to contest the farm, and the people will try to stop him from doing it, and then they will feed. And this goes back to the quote that I always use for my coach. If you farm at the correct place, the enemy will come and feed. And if you win the lane, then of course the correct place is to play as aggressive as you can. So basically a team wipe and a ancient camp that he gets. Now we can look at the mid lane again, it's pushed out. We can check the bottom wave is gonna come soon, but he takes mid again. Keeps this incredible stable. Look at his tower, it barely took any damage. 50 minutes in, gets the next power rune, clears the ancients, like everything just seems to be smooth and one continuous flow and movement. This is exactly what we want to create. We don't want to chase people here on the top side of the map. We don't want to chase them too deep into the bottom side unless we have a couple of team members. We don't want to do some random smokes where we try to catch one dude we barely see. We just want to maximize our own net worth on the most aggressive spot on the enemy side and then continue to boost our own game. Pushing mid again, the formula is actually very simple. It's difficult to execute and to know your limits, but it's actually very simple in theory. Keeps pushing, keeps threatening the tower. So let's see what he does once the tower is taken. He just goes to the next tower. Could be top tower, it could be bottom tower. Doesn't even matter that much, to be honest. Since his team is here, I think he prefers to take the bottom tower. Now this tower is gone. What would you expect is the next thing to do? Controlling mid again, strafing, looking for kills. And there's an option to go on the top side here, or just on high ground, and see if they can make moves. Wow, almost dies. But gets a lot out of it. This is what I mean when I say you have to know your limit well. in order to maximize your net worth. And he just, wait a second, he just stacked that camp with a trap. Okay, we're watching a pro at work. He places the trap, then he denies the trap, he hits the creep, and he stacks the camp. Holy guacamole. Finds a couple bounties. Rejoins his team. Yeah, and this is pretty much how it looks like. So with this kind of playstyle and aggression that he was able to put out just because he won the mid lane, there's a 22k net worth lead, and as you can see from the time bar here, the game ends very abruptly. I think they die once or twice more, and then they just give up. The items aren't even that important, because we're just at minute 21. Like, the amount of items you could have bought here isn't even that big, so there's not much time to mess it up. To summarize it, once you win the mid lane, take the enemy tower, take aggressive farm, keep the mid wave shaft, then push other towers, punish the mistakes of the enemies if they try to defend their territory, especially the support that didn't check exactly how strong the mid lane is, and this especially happens on lower ranks. They will underestimate the power of your power spike once you won the lane, and from there, just try to close the map on the enemy and be a constant factor of pressure wherever you can manage to be it. Don't try to be smoking too much. Don't try to make too many rotations on the left or on the right corner of the map. Try to center yourself and keep the pressure continuously on. Good luck.